Today, we bring you a remarkable story that was captured on camera. A wife was caught cheating, but what truly shocked everyone was her husband's silent revenge. On a fateful day, a man walked in and discovered his wife in bed with another man. By every measure, he had the right to be furious, to shout, to confront, or even to physically attack the man lying with his wife. But he chose none of those paths. Instead, he played the smartest card anyone could imagine. This is the story of a husband who uncovered his wife's betrayal. Instead of demanding a divorce or engaging in a heated confrontation, he decided to take a different approach. He acted as though nothing had happened. Quietly, he moved into the guest house on their property and behaved as if life were perfectly normal. Once settled in the guest house, he transformed it into a comfortable home. He installed Wi-Fi, a television, air conditioning, and even stocked it with a fridge. Slowly, it became a fully functional, self-contained space where he could live in peace. One day, his wife called him. She had ordered food and asked him to come collect it. Calmly, the husband told her he wasn't hungry and suggested she bring the food to the guest house instead. His refusal angered her. She demanded to know why he was still staying in the guest house rather than returning to the main home. He replied with composure. He was comfortable there and saw no reason to move back. She pressed him, insisting he return, but he calmly set a condition. He would only move back if she agreed to switch places and live in the guest house herself. Her face changed. She was caught off guard by his words and began realizing that her choices were carrying consequences. Eventually, he suggested that perhaps they could rebuild their marriage, but only if she was willing to accept moving into the guest house while he stayed in the main home. Surprisingly, she agreed. A few days later, she packed up and moved into the guest house with their 2 children. From then on, their daily life fell into an unusual rhythm. Each morning, the husband left for work. His wife stayed back, caring for the children. But when evening came and it was time for him to return, she told the children their father was working late and would not be home. She created excuses to keep him away. At dinner, she cooked for herself and the children but never once invited her husband to join them. Meanwhile, he lived quietly in his own world, eating the meals he ordered in, watching TV, and retreating into the sanctuary he had built in the guest house. One afternoon, however, the husband decided to make a surprise visit. He returned home at lunchtime, knocked on the guest house door, and was greeted by one of the children. Inside, his wife sat stiffly on the sofa while the children watched TV. She was clearly startled by his sudden arrival. Masking her discomfort, she greeted him coldly and asked why he had come, reminding him she was busy. He ignored her tone and simply said he wanted to see his family. He sat beside her, noticing how she avoided his eyes. The silence weighed heavily. Feeling her rejection, he rose, went into the kitchen, and poured himself a glass of water. On his way back, something caught his attention: a Bible lying on the dining table. He picked it up, walked to the sofa, and held it out. "Do you know what this is?" he asked. "It's the Bible," she answered cautiously. "Can you open it and read a passage aloud?" he pressed. Nervously, she flipped through and read aloud the words, "Adultery is forbidden." The husband turned to her and the children. His voice steady, he said, "These words matter, especially for us today." With that, he placed the Bible back on the table, walked out without another word, and got into his car. As he drove away, sadness weighed on him. His wife had made a mistake that never should have happened, and though she may have thought she could hide it, truth had a way of surfacing. He knew that trust was the foundation of a marriage, and hers had been broken. Yet despite the pain, he still loved her. That was why he had chosen to confront her indirectly, using the very words of the Bible to mirror her actions back at her, hoping she would grasp the depth of her mistake. After that day, his wife became noticeably nervous around him. She knew he was aware of her betrayal. Guilt gnawed at her, and she could barely meet his eyes. For his part, he continued to act composed, as though nothing had happened. But inside, his heart was wounded. He could not understand why she would risk their marriage for another man. One evening, Unable to hold it in any longer, he asked her to sit with him. He poured out his heart, telling her how deeply she had hurt him. He confessed that despite everything, he still loved her and did not want to end their marriage over one mistake. But he drew a firm line. For them to continue, she had to be completely honest and faithful. If she could not promise him that, their marriage would end. Overcome with emotion, the wife broke down in tears. She admitted her wrongdoing, calling it a terrible mistake. She begged for forgiveness, swearing she would never betray him again. Through her sobs, she told him she loved him and their family. Hearing her confession brought him a measure of relief. At least she understood now. He forgave her, but warned that forgiveness did not erase the need to rebuild trust. He reminded her that healing would take time, and she would have to prove through her actions that she was committed. That night, they talked for hours. He spoke of the good memories they had shared, of the life they had built, and of how he did not want to throw it away. She listened closely, promising to do whatever it would take to mend their marriage. By the end of the night, they held each other tightly. He whispered that he loved her and would always be there if she truly wanted to change. They both knew the path ahead would be difficult, but for the first time in weeks, there was hope. In the weeks that followed, the wife worked hard to rebuild what she had broken. She showed him through daily actions that she was committed. She devoted more time to her family, made sacrifices, and worked to be a better partner. The husband noticed her effort. Slowly, he began to heal and trust again. They attended marriage counseling, where they learned to communicate openly. He expressed his needs more clearly, while she focused on transparency and honesty. Though the scars of betrayal could not vanish overnight, they faced each day together, choosing not to give up. Their marriage, once shaken, grew stronger as they fought for it side by side. The story of this couple is a reminder that infidelity can happen in any marriage. It causes deep wounds, but it does not always have to mean the end. With forgiveness, commitment, and the will to rebuild, even broken trust can be mended. This husband and wife chose not to let betrayal destroy them. Instead, they found strength in their bond, in faith, and in their determination to fight for each other. Thank you for watching this story. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more stories like this. We'll see you in the next one.